Monday to you, my side of the desk for the week of March the 3rd. The quote this week is from Yogi Berra. If you don't know where you're going, you'll end up someplace else. Has a lot of tie into our learning plans and how we plan to prepare for quality instruction. This week, several things. I want to talk about attendance. We're running just under 91%. Remember, our goal is 95%. We continue to work on that. We have done an attendance audit through the 121st day of the school year. We have 33 students, that's 28% of our students, who are chronically truant, 10% or more absences. Our goal is to get that down to 20%, so we've got a little ways to go. But it is improvement from earlier in the school year where we were running in the 30%. 50 of our kids, 42%, met the 95% attendance target, and 5 have actually had perfect attendance uh, through the 121st day of the school year. So that's significant. Again, intervention time for our 9th and 12th grade students, please be sure that you get that work to those intervention teachers as we continue to work to support high student achievement. Take a look at the New Mexico Teachscape. We're finishing up observation 3. I think it's important that we look at our data. One of our lowest areas of opportunity for growth here is teaching for learning, domain 3, particularly assessment for learning and demonstrating flexibility in how we modify lessons. So take a look at the data, reflect on your classroom and what we can do to improve the quality of instruction. We have 14 students who have met all requirements for graduation. We're at 54% so far. We're working on some other areas to look at, including ASVAB data. So hopefully we'll have an update on that soon. We have 2 weeks remaining of HSGA prep. So very important time for our students that during that intervention period, our H2 and H3 kids are working. Also, our kids that are doing virtual tutor on New Mexico Science, on New Mexico Math during computer lab rotations. Please be sure we're monitoring those kids, providing them feedback on that. They only have 2 weeks to take advantage of that. The field trip of the week is cruising the Florida coast. This field trip starts in Miami, Florida, and goes to Key West. It's a great drive. Been down through there. You take a highway that goes across the ocean and jump key to key. So please take a look at that and share that. Take our kids on a trip down US 1. Reminder about the 6-step vocabulary process. Those first 3 steps are vital. If you need help developing word descriptions, just send me a word. I'll be glad to do that for you. We finish up our CCSS vocabulary terms. We're on the last 4 categories this week. They are see the big picture, symbolize, think metacognitively, and transform. I sent you an article the other day, one of the best that I've seen about how Tier 2 and Tier 3 words relate. And if you look at them as brick and mortar of building a wall, so we've talked about word walls, but the bricks are your Tier 3 words. They're your core content words. And the mortar is the Tier 2 words, the common core verbs that we've been working on. So we're going to do some more activities on that this week. The Hattie influence, the number 9 most influential thing in education, is about teacher clarity. It's about having clear learning goals and communicating that to students. It's also element 3A in teacher evaluation. Effective instruction starts with defining that learning goals, what it is we want kids to know and be able to do. And then we have to develop the assessment. How are we going to know if they do that? And then finally, what do we do if they do, and what do we do if they don't? That is the heart of quality instruction. So we need to continue to work on that. The Marzano strategy this week is cues, questions, and advanced organizers, things like concept maps, and there's tons of advanced organizers out there that help kids organize information. I shared the other day that the research is clear, particularly on ELLs and SPED students, that helping them organize that information through a graphic organizer is essential. It's associated with a 22% achievement gain, so again has a big influence on student achievement. One of the literacy strategies this week is modeling think alouds and comprehension strategies. Think alouds are like read alouds, but in this case, you, the teacher, talk through your thought process. So if you're working a math problem or analyzing anything, you think out loud, you talk out loud, and you demonstrate a model for students how educated folks think through problems. So it's really important that students see that. Now, a literacy strategy is prediction relay. And in this strategy, students take a section of fiction text and they read a section and then predict what they think is going to happen. Max Teaching has fiction prediction sheets that are similar. So you go through a text, they read a short section, they make a prediction, and then they check to verify. It's a way to engage students in the text. So please take a look at that. The Max Teaching strategy this week is called Stump the Teacher. You can do this with a textbook or with any kind of text. And what you do is students read silently for whatever section you want them to read, and they close and turn it over. And their goal is to find questions in there that they can ask you that you can't answer. It's called Stump the Teacher. And then after they've done that, you ask them questions. So it's really a way to engage students in literacy. They want to find fault with us, find things that we don't know. So they're often highly engaged in this activity. Some Tier 1 RTI interventions are praise, so take a look at those things, and rewards. I've seen that in a number of our classrooms where you have token reward systems that you're using, so please take a look at that. Under assessments, you can actually assess students' thinking by using a concept map. So you can give them the terms to a particular concept, give them a concept map, and have them write out that and then use that as an assessment. So it's another way to utilize assessments. Please continue to integrate and implement our Smartboard resources and classroom response systems. There's tons of resources out there. If you're trying to find a resource in a particular topic, just email me that. I'll be glad to locate that for you. The Teach Like a Champion, the 49 techniques that put students on their path to college. This is we're on Technique 6. It's begin with the end, and it's about lesson planning and how we derive that. What do we want students to learn tomorrow? Too much of the time we're asking ourselves, what are we going to have them do tomorrow? So we start with the activities. But we need to start with, what do we want them to know? At the end of tomorrow's lesson, what do we want them to know? The next step is to, once you've defined that learning goal, you select the assessment, how you're going to know, and then you select activities or critical input experiences that kids are going that they need to do in order to master that learning goal. So we did learning goal surveys this last week, and it really asked kids the same thing. What's your learning goal for today? How are these activities related to the learning goal? Where are you on the scale of 0 to 4? And the last is, how does your teacher celebrate success? It's success on mastering that learning goal. So not just a general success, but really truly accomplishing what you're trying to learn that day. Please continue to do the PD video reflection email. So this week we're going to look at one from Ken Robinson. About a month ago, I participated in a webinar with Learning Sciences, a Marzano webinar on enhancing the art and science of teaching using technology, and I was the winner. So they sent me one of Marzano's new books. So I'm be sharing some of that with you over the next few weeks, including here's some data on smartboards. Teachers who use smartboards saw about a 15% gain in student achievement over teachers who did not. But what they found when teachers used Smartboard along with high-yield strategies, there was an effect size gain of 1.6, which is about a 45% gain in student achievement, which is huge, a 3-year gain in student achievement. So what that says is that if we effectively use our Smartboards by incorporating high-yield strategies, we can have a huge impact on student achievement. So please continue to work on that. Congratulations to Vinton Laredo and John Craddock. Our boys were champions in District 6-1A. Congratulations to A.D. Begay and Valerie Tapaha. They led our girls basketball team to District 6-1A championship as well. So both of them continue on towards state. But we should find out later today what time we play this week. I also want to thank everybody that worked home basketball games. A lot of volunteer work here. Thanks, Jane Markle, for the ticket. Thanks, Candace, for running the clock. Thanks, Josh Handelsman, for the announcing. Thank you, Marshall Antonio, for providing security. And then a phenomenal concession stand crew, Ethan Johnson, Michelle Boss, Sophia John, Lynette Nadeau and Keith Hill for providing fundraising opportunities for our school. Tomorrow we're at PD Day. The first from 8 to 9, you'll be working on the PDPs, reviewing Observation 3, updating your grade book. And then we're going to start on Unit 2 at 9 o'clock in the KDS online system. We hope to get through Unit 4 and get started on the midterm. This week we have AP practice exams on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We also have the Quality of Ed survey. We're going to do that with the clickers period 7 on Tuesday. The students will then take that home and go through it with their parent and return that parent survey to us on Wednesday. On Friday this week, we have Navajo Youth Conference. 42 of our students will be attending that. So again, take a look at upcoming activities. We have 2 weeks remaining before HSGA. So this week and next week are important times for our students. We start with sophomores that following week. Thanks for all that you do to make our school great. Have a great week.